Okay guys, so in today's video, we're going to take a look at how to find absolute location. Yesterday's video talked about the difference between absolute and relative location. Both are used when you're trying to find a place on Earth. The difference is that absolute location is an exact place on Earth, say for example, your address, whereas relative location is going to help you find where that place is relative to somewhere else, like behind McDonald's. Now, absolute location, there are places on Earth that also have global addresses, okay? You can't just use the street address because you can have 123 Mayberry in Washington State, in Florida State, maybe even somewhere in England, okay? So what we're going to do is find out how we can find global addresses so that they're very specific and very unique. There are two particular things that we use to find absolute location. The first one is something known as latitude lines, okay? So latitude lines are also known as parallels. They are drawn from east to west, okay? So these lines that are going from here's west, here's east, they go this way, okay? They run horizontally. They run east to west, west to east. And what they measure is how far up something is or how far down something is, okay? They measure how far north and measure how far south a place is, but they run from east to west. I know that's a little bit confusing, but we'll clarify that in class, okay? So this is what they look like. Those are your latitude lines. Like I said, they run east to west, measure north and south, aka parallels. The major line of latitude, the center line of latitude, is going to be your equator, okay? Your equator measures at 0 degrees, and all latitude lines measure from 0 degrees all the way up to 90 degrees. 90 degrees here and 90 degrees here, okay? So here's the 0 degree mark. As you move up, the degrees will indicate north because we're moving north. So here would be 20 degrees north, 40 degrees north, 60 degrees north, 80 degrees north, and at the very top you have 90 degrees north. As you move down again, 20 degrees south, 40 degrees south, 60 degrees south, 80 degrees south, and then 90 degrees south. Okay? So the major line of latitude is the equator, and what the equator does at 0 degrees is that it splits the Earth into the northern and southern hemispheres, okay? And we're going to look in the next slide as to what are hemispheres. Okay, so let's go ahead and define hemisphere. A hemisphere is half of a globe. In our case, half of the Earth. Hemi actually means half, and sphere would be, you know, your circular globe. So hemisphere is half of the globe. Absolute location also uses longitude lines, okay? So longitude lines is the second part of the equation when you're looking for an exact address on Earth. Your first step is to find the line of latitude, just like when you do coordinates in your math class, how you find x-axis first. And now with longitude lines, we're looking at y-axis, okay? So longitude lines are also known as meridians. That's what they look like. They are drawn from north to south, but they measure how far west or how far east some place is located, okay? So these are vertical lines, and they measure east and west, but they run north to south. Those are your longitude lines, okay? So when you're finding absolute location, first you need to know what your latitude coordinate is and then the longitude coordinate. So when you put them together into the grid system, you'll be able to find a place on Earth. So let's say, for example, here we're using the 0 degree mark at the equator. Here's my latitude line, and then if I wanted to know what the exact location is, I would also use longitude and find that coordinate right here. Now, one thing to remember when you're looking at longitude lines, I know that those red lines are a little confusing, so let's take them off. When you're looking at longitude lines, it's important to remember, if you look here, this is the Robinson projection. These lines curve, okay? So when you're looking for that second coordinate, you're going to need to curve along with that line to be able to find that spot that you're looking for. Okay, so we'll do more practice of this in class and see you tomorrow.